and then ma'am will probably start. Yeah. Parul, I think you can start. We are live. Thank you.
दोस्तों नमस्ते, मैं पारुल। आज थोड़ा सा लेट ज्वाइन किया है क्योंकि मैं कॉम्प्लेक्स में हूँ, क्योंकि आज हेमा मैम, मालिनी मैम आने वाली थी, इसलिए मैंने खूब सारा सज धज के आई हूँ। दोस्तों ये मजाक की बात थी। आज हमारी जो गेस्ट हैं, आप उनसे कई बार मिल चुके हैं, बार बार उनका मैं क्या परिचय दूं, बस इतना परिचय दूंगी कि अगर बहुत सारे एजुकेशनिस्ट में से, वर्ल्ड में से 20 लिए जाएं तो वो उनमें से एक हेमा मैम होंगी, और इंडिया के अगर 5 गिने चाहें तो मेरी तरफ से हेमा मैम उनमें से एक होंगी। मैं जरूर, अगर राष्ट्रपति अवार्ड की संस्तुति कहीं होती हो तो उनके लिए करूंगी। हमारी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में आप उन्हें देख सकते हैं और किस तरीके से वो पेरेंट्स की मदद करती है। मैं देखती हूँ वो उस टेबल पे से हटना ही नहीं चाहती है। मैम हो गया टाइम, चले गए सब, नहीं अभी मैं बैठी हूँ, अभी मैं बैठी, आखिरी टाइम तक वो वहीं बैठी रहती हैं। कोई कितने भी सवाल पूछे, इतने सहज भाव से जवाब देना अगर मुझे आ जाए तो मेरी किसी से लड़ाइयाँ ही ना हो। खैर, ये तो बात रही उनके स्वभाव की। आज उनसे बहुत सारी बातें हम करने वाले हैं राइटिंग के बारे में, कि राइटिंग स्कूल गोइंग बच्चों के लिए, जैसा कि साउथ में भी और अब यहाँ भी स्कूल खुलने वाले हैं, वहां भी खुल चुके हैं, तो राइटिंग पे कैसे ध्यान देना है सभी उम्र के बच्चों के लिए, खासकर छोटे बच्चों के लिए। है मैम, आपका स्वागत है बहुत बहुत।
Thank you so much, Parul. So, good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you all again with a little important topic. As for whenever I went to conferences, people used to ask me, tell us more about writing. So, and the time would be so less that I always used to tell that we will take a session on writing so that we'll do everything in a session rather than just telling to one person. It will be reaching to everyone. So, today I made a small PowerPoint wherein I'll tell you what all is needed as a prerequisite for writing, and then during writing how the procedure has to go on. Most of the time we don't understand the procedure and we start with a complex way, then the children will get stuck, so the parents also will get stuck. They won't know how to go about, and the children will stop doing things or obeying the parent. That is how mostly happens, and the parent come back to me asking how to help, कैसे हेल्प करें, अभी तो वो रुक गया और बिल्कुल नहीं दिख रहा, या पेंसिल फेंक दे रहा है, बुक देखते ही वो भाग जा रहा है. These kind of things keep on happening. So how to reduce all this behavior and how to improve their interest towards writing, that is very important. So I'll go on to my PowerPoint, I'll share my PowerPoint, and then we will have some question and answers at the end. Yeah, let me know if it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to talk about writing skills and school readiness. Is not just writing is not just to write onto your books with the pencils or anything. It's all about how ready you are to go into a school. So writing is usually required by children when they just enter the school. So apart from writing, what is required for these children to get into the school so that the writing becomes easier for them? So this is how we need to go about. The topic is moving from school readiness to writing skill, though we are given more importance to writing skills. So, we'll move on.
Request everybody else to please mute yourselves.
Thank you. So the first important thing that we have to look into is our posture and gripping. So how is our posture? When we are standing or when we are sitting, when the child is standing or sitting, is the posture erect? Is the child able to do things in standing position? Is the child able to bend and pick up things? All these things are important because how our shoulders work, how our elbows work, and how our arms work depends on our posture. So this posture along with the neck is very important to say that I have to start my writing along with all these things. So at this stage, probably we require the therapist help. This is a very early stage where the child probably is not yet started to stand or not started to walk or not started to even bend and get up back to the position. So all these things we probably need help of a therapist. Then moving on to the swing. When the child is sitting on the swing, the child may not even be able to walk right now. But sitting on the swing, holding the ropes with both the hands, imagine the strength the child gets on the arms. When the child knows that the child is always cautious not to fall. So the child will hold the rope so tight that the strengthening happens on the arms on both their hands. And this is what is required when we want them to write. So right at the very early stage, even at the age of 2 or 2.5, when the children are growing like this, we should check. We should check whether the child is getting the correct postures in different positions so that they will move on to writing in a better way. If the child is not able to stand erect and even catch a ball in their hand, imagine how the writing is going to happen, because the shoulders are not going to be erect that way, and then you will expect the child to hold a pencil and write. So this is not going to happen. So we'll have to keep a checkpoint at a very early age and see if their posture is maintained. Squatting is very, very important. Squatting for toilet training is very important. Squatting for writing is also very important. Imagine the hip joints. The hip joints have to be so strong that the child is able to sit and look at the book and then copy something or even hold the pencil and move on. So squatting helps the hip joints along with the back. So whenever we talk about the writing, it is all about the posture, all about the back, all about the shoulders and the arm. So squatting is very, very important. Children who have not used the Indian toilets, please see that they will squat at least 10 times in a day. They have to squat and get up, or they can be in squatting position for count of 5 or count of 6. So the squatting position is very, very important so that the posture can be maintained. Coming to the brain gym. Now, since the posture is maintained and all, how as a special educator or as a parent, how can I help my child? So the brain, now we are working onto the brain. My brain has to get ready to do something called as writing. Writing is a very complex. Writing is not that easy as reading. Reading is something to do with your vocabulary building and saying with your eyes and eye tracking. Writing has got all these things. Along with this is the muscle movement. So this is very complex. So for this, we have to do certain brain gym. One of that is clapping above the head. Brain gym like this, clapping over the head. Both the hands have to go over the head. It's not clapping like this. It has to go up. When I'm doing this, imagine the strength I'm putting onto my forearm. Back arm. These are the back arms and my elbows. So when I'm doing this, it makes a lot of sense. So clapping over the head is one of the brain gym, and then tracing on the lazy 8 or the infinity, the sign of infinity. The child has to put the finger, the pointer, and then move on to the lazy 8 from left to right. Mostly from left to right, because we write from left to right, except for Urdu, where they write from right to left. So mostly it is from left to right. So we keep our finger in the middle, that is cutting our body into 2 halves. And then we move to the left and then go up and then come down. Then we come to the center. So every time it's a sign of the infinity, which goes around like this, but in the shape of an 8. So it is called as a lazy 8, an 8 which is sleepy. So सोने वाली 8. 8 को अगर खड़ा हो गया तो ऐसा लगेगा, 8 को सुला दिया तो ऐसा लगेगा. तो सुलाया हुआ 8 के ऊपर अपना उंगली को लेफ्ट से राइट को ले जाना है. तो कैसा रहेगा? ऊपर से जाओ, टर्न करो, फिर से ऊपर से जाओ, टर्न करो और बीच में आओ. So this is what is called lazy 8 turning. When my hand goes all through these directions, I will be actually moving, making all kinds of curves and the lines that is required for my alphabets. So this is again very important, and eyes get tracked. मेरा आंख भी उसके साथ साथ जाना चाहिए. So eye tracking also happens along with the fingers. The third one is the brain gym called as thinking caps, where we pinch our earlobes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, on the earlobe, the child will pinch along with us. This is to keep your brain alert and ready. Suppose the child, when we are telling something to the child and the child is looking here and there or not showing any interest, when you tell them do the thinking caps or pinch your ears, and immediately the attention will come back and the child might again look back. But the attention span again is individually so different. So one child might see for 5 minutes, One child may remain there for 15 minutes also. Again, if the child is getting distracted, you can always use brain gym again, thinking caps. So whenever there's a distraction, you can use the brain gym of the same called as thinking caps to bring back their attention. So all the three brain gym is very, very important even before we start our writing skills. This is again a brain gym where we call it a crisscross. Crisscross is something like crawling of the baby. When as a baby, the child would have crawled. This hand goes first and the right leg. Whenever the left hand goes first, the right leg moves. Whenever the right hand goes first, the left leg moves. This is called the crisscross. Likewise, after they grow up also, if they do this crisscross, clap and then on the other side of the knee, if you touch, and then clap on the opposite side of the knee if you touch. This is called crisscross. You can either do it in standing position or in sitting position. If the child is able to do it in standing position, they can do. Sometimes they lose balance when they lift the leg, so they can always sit and do it. It's better if they sit and do it also. So the crisscross is also very important, where your right and the left brain both work together. When you are writing, the right and the left brain has to work together, because the right brain helps your motor skills and the left brain is a creative skill which helps you to read what you're writing or recollect what you're going to write or improve your vocabulary. Everything happens in the left brain, whereas your right brain is going to help your motor skills. So crisscross is very, very important brain gym which you have to practice every day. So all the brain gym has to be practiced every day. And then this picture, tack and track, is nothing but playing ringa ringa roses. When you have a set of children, at least 5 or 6, or parents together with children, when you're playing ringa ringa roses, just check if your child is walking along with you or moving into the circle. You should also check this, because if the child is moving along with you, that means the child is able to track the line, imaginary line of a circle. If the child is moving in and not able to go walk along with you, that means the track is not happening. So you have to play this game again and again and again and again, so that the child will understand that the child has to move sideways along with others until they play the ringa ringa roses, or even if it's a train game where the first driver will go and then behind that the child will be walking. The child shouldn't be walking this way and that way. The child should be walking on the track. So this is very again important. When the child has to write, the child understands something called as tracking. The child has to understand tracking, because that is how the hand moves from this point to that point. Even for a simple sleeping line or a standing line, I have to track. I have to track. What is a track? Track is nothing but when you're playing, if your legs are moving along with it, it's a track. So the whole body helps you in writing. It is not just your fingers and hands. It is not just the OT. It has to be the holistic development. So this is now coming very finely into the fingers. Squeezing. When you squeeze a soft ball, you can take different textures when you're squeezing the ball. Don't take the same kind of ball. Please keep changing the ball every time, because the child requires novelty. The child will get bored if you're doing the same ball again and again. So keep changing either the ball or at least the box in which you keep the ball, so that something new the child will feel. And then whenever you give the ball, make them squeeze with this hand as well as this hand. Don't think the child is right-hander, so I'll give only to the right hand. No, you have to stimulate the left hand also, because again, I'm telling you, the left and the right brain has to be stimulated together. So please give 5 for this hand and 5 for this hand, or 3 for this hand and 3 for this hand. So stimulate both the hands. The second picture here is squeezing a sponge to bring out the water. This is so thrilling than the ball. When the child squeezes the sponge and the water drips down, the child feels so happy and the child will look at it. That is what is required. When the child does something, the child should look at it. So when the child looks at it, that is what is achievement. When the child is writing, we expect the child to look at the book, and then we keep on saying, look at the book. बुक देख के लिखो, नीचे देख के लिखो, नीचे देख के कभी कब सीखेगा वो, जब वो कुछ और भी काम करेगा जहां वो नीचे देखेगा उसका, लेकिन उसे थ्रिलिंग होनी चाहिए, उसे हैप्पीनेस आनी चाहिए. सो गिव हिम समथिंग लाइक वाटर or even colorful water, where they'll squeeze and see that the water is dripping, and that gives them very happy. And the next one is scooping. ये तो बीच में जाके रेती स्कूप कर सकते हैं. स्पून थोड़ा बड़ा वाला स्पून दे दो तो रेती स्कूप करके बकेट में डालेंगे या मग में डालेंगे. और ये वाला है spoon scoop करके खुद खाना है. तो this is the eye hand coordination where they scoop and then they eat. थोड़ी बहुत spill हो गई तो भी चलेगा, but always keep a practice of the child will scoop the spoon. When the child is scooping the spoon, think of the holding. Sometimes the child will hold the spoon like this and try to scoop. Allow the child to do that. Let the correction happen automatically. Don't try to always correct the spoon. They will first do this. They know that they are not able to eat. They will slowly change it, or they will change the hand. They will try, they will mix up this and that, but ultimately they'll get it. So give the chance for the child to do the self-correction. Don't keep on correcting it. If you keep on correcting it, the child will stop doing it. So overcorrection is always very, very dangerous. So give time and space. Let the child correct it by itself. Then comes stacking. Stacking is एक के ऊपर एक रखना है. Either it can be small boxes in your house, or it can be the blocks, or it can be the rings, or anything. But while stacking, what is to be understood is it a bigger one or a smaller one going up? The bigger one stands down and then the smaller one goes up. So this improves the brain. This helps the brain to understand the big and the small, or a bigger font and the smaller font. इतना बड़ा बड़ा लिखता है, छोटा छोटा नहीं लिखता है. Why does it happen? Because you wouldn't have definitely done stacking. When you have done stacking, your brain already understands what is a big size, what is a small size. So these things are not just for hand, it is also for the brain. The brain starts understanding all this. We have to train the brain before we come to the writing. So this is very important. The other one is the Velcro. I think you would have seen the Velcro. I'll show you at the end of the show, end of the presentation, what is a Velcro and how it helps the child to remove it and again place it back. Pointing with the pointer. Use of the pointer is very important. If the child is still pointing with all the 4 fingers or all the 5 fingers, you have to train the child to point with the pointer. This is the focus point. It can be either the left or the right, as the child's comfort has. So pointing should happen even before the writing is there. So even on the lazy eye, the child should be able to use a pointer on the lazy eye to track on the sleeping age. So pointing finger should be used. Throwing a ball should be done. See the total posture when the child is standing and throwing. Let the child stand and throw. Let the child sit and throw. See the posture when the child is standing and throwing. Look at the left hand going back. That is the body balance. So when the child is using one hand, the body has to balance. How does it balance? In a standing position, the hand goes back. In a sitting position, automatically the hand will come in front. When the child is writing, the left hand has to be onto the book. When the child is writing with the right hand, the child is writing with the left hand, the right hand has to be onto the book while the child is writing with the left hand. So this has to be done. So we have to allow the child to throw a ball. If it is focused, it's much more better. If you have kept a basket or a bucket there, asking the child to throw the ball into it, much more focused, then the child will definitely take the hand back. This is called body balancing technique. So the child automatically learns it. This need not be trained. So only play with the child. That is what is important. अगर इस तरह की खेल में child को अगर interest दिया, तो बॉडी बैलेंस खुद आ जाएगा. इसके लिए ज्यादा सा आपके लिए कुछ भी नहीं करना है. सिर्फ बॉल फेंकने के टाइम में खुद अपने आप बॉडी बैलेंस बच्चे सीख लेते हैं. और ये होता है सीढ़ी क्लाइंबिंग. सो सीढ़ी के ऊपर उसे चढ़ना पड़ेगा, खुद चढ़ना पड़ेगा. थोड़ी बहुत तो सपोर्ट दे सकते हैं, लेकिन आफ्टर सम टाइम please leave the support. Let the child climb by itself. When the child climbs by itself, the crisscross is actually happening. Whenever the right hand goes up, the left leg will automatically come up. So this is again, the child is learning a lot while climbing the stair by itself. So all these things are readiness. These are readiness to write. If somewhere something is lacking, please work on to this rather than pushing the child into writing. See whether something is missing here, whether the child is not able to do something here. Then move a little bit back, one step back, work on that, and again move on to the writing part. That you don't have to stop the writing part, but you have to work on this also. So very important thing is health and body checkup. I usually miss out this point, and Rekha ma'am is to always insist, you have to put that point in all your presentations. So today I remembered what Rekha ma'am always says. So regular thyroid checkup should be done. Ears and eye checkup should be periodically done. general body weight and vitamin D checkup should be done. Because when the bones are still not ready, imagine we are giving them the pressure of doing it, and the child is still not ready due to the health issues, that has to be addressed first. So please see that the child's health is very important. And as we know, our child's health is always this way and that way. It is fluctuating. So periodic checkup is very, very important to see that the child will move on with the skills. So now I have come to the right, exactly the point where the writing starts. So initially, when the writing starts, we don't give a crayon, we don't give a pencil, we don't give any instrument. We only give its own finger, the pointer, and a paint. If there is no paint at home, हल्दी का थोड़ा सा पेस्ट कर लो, हल्दी में थोड़ा सा पानी डालो और पेस्ट लगा लो, रेडी कर लो. तो एक सर्कल लगाने से इस सर्कल के अंदर बच्चे को हाथ उंगली रखना है, बस पेस्ट में दबाओ और सर्कल के अंदर रखो. दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड फोकस्ड पॉइंटिंग. एंड लगाते ही हाथ निकालना पड़ेगा. Whenever the child is putting the finger into the circle there, immediately the child should remove the hand. That means I can keep it there and I can just remove it from there. That helps the child where to start and where to stop. If the child doesn't know and we keep on giving scribbling, thinking scribbling is the first thing to do, then this will totally disrupt. So scribbling is a part of it. I totally agree. But you have to first teach the focus. So let the child put the finger onto the circle and immediately remove it. Then again another circle, then immediately remove it. This is the part one. So after this, then you can slowly ask the child to track. So tracking happens. The child will bring from the first circle to the next circle, the vertical line happens. It can happen after a week. Don't have to hurry. Every time the child will put the finger into the circle and remove it, dot, dot, dot. How many ever dots the child want to keep in a paper, let it keep. Let the child understand that I can keep, I can remove the finger. I can keep, I can remove the finger. That is most important. Then comes the tracking. Then both the circles will be drawn in a paper and the child will keep a dot here and then the dot here, then join the dot with the pointer only. Please don't give pencil or a crayon at this stage. Don't do anything, just with their pointer. If they can do, that's more than enough. Moving on, we will do the horizontal in the same way. So the child will move from left to right in the horizontal. Please see that the child will not move from right to left. Try to tell that from here to here. The child will do along with you. Then we will do the joining, the vertical and the sleeping line both together. This is the formation of L, the capital L. So the standing and the sleeping lines are the first ones to teach. But before that is the dot inside the circle is the premost thing to teach. The order of alphabets, many of the parents would ask me how to teach them. Alphabets with standing and sleeping lines. L, T, I, F, E, H, and all will come. Then slanting lines will come. Then comes the curved lines. So imagine where I will teach my A. And whenever we are teaching capital and the small letter together. We are not teaching it separately. So capital and the small letter goes together. I will show you in the next slide how it goes. Formation of the alphabet, to teach them how to form the alphabet. Even before they start tracing on it, please do it by placing the strip of papers. L लिखा होता है तो उसके ऊपर से वो कागज लेके एकदम जोड़ना है. स्टैंडिंग लाइन रखना है, स्लीपिंग लाइन रखना है. इससे क्या होता है, फॉर्मेशन तो उसे पता चल जाएगा. इस तरह से हो गया, इस तरह से हो गया. और उसके बड़ा बड़ा अक्षर नीचे जमीन पे लिखना है और बच्चों को उस पे चलना पड़ेगा. अगर एक स्टैंडिंग लाइन हुआ तो स्टैंडिंग लाइन के ऊपर चलो, तो अब तभी उसे पता चलेगा कि स्टैंडिंग लाइन क्या होती है. तो अगेन आई एम सेइंग दैट द होल बॉडी वर्क्स ऑन टू इट. इट इज नॉट जस्ट द हैंड. द होल बॉडी शुड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज अ स्टैंडिंग लाइन. ओके, ट्रेसिंग इन द सैंड और सैंड पेपर. रेती पे, रेती का एक ट्रे में ले लो और रेती पे भी उंगली के साथ कर सकते हैं, या नहीं तो सैंड पेपर का अल्फाबेट मिलेगा उसके ऊपर भी कर सकते हैं. क्ले मोल्डिंग होता है, क्ले या आटा दे दो, आटा के साथ वो कैसे बनाते हैं, एल कैसे बनाते हैं, टी कैसे बनाते हैं, ये सब सिखा सकते हैं. देन order of training में independent placing a dot inside a small circle, that was the first one. Tracing on the standing and the sleeping line. What that was the second one. Independently joining the dots of standing and the sleeping line. वो खुद ही कर रहे हैं आप. पहले तो आप हाथ पकड़ सकते हैं, then they move on to do it by themselves, independently writing standing and sleeping lines by themselves without the dot. अभी तो डॉट भी नहीं रहेगा, खुद वो लोग ही लिख लेंगे. So this is the order. पहले यहाँ से स्टार्ट करेंगे, second point, third point, then comes the fourth point. अक्सर क्या होता है, यहीं से स्टार्ट होता है. We start with the last one. We start with the tracing of the standing and the sleeping line, or tracing of the alphabet itself. So please stop doing from here. Start from here and slowly move on to this. It may take some time. It's okay. It's okay. But once the child is confident, the child will not throw the pencil and run. If the child is not confident, the child will definitely throw the pencil and run. So please give that confidence level to the child. So this is how we teach capital and the small letters together. So when we teach the alphabets, we teach starting from standing and sleeping lines, those alphabets. So it starts with L. We say L, L, and then all the pictures of the alphabets, starting sound should be L. So leg, lemon, lotus, lion, lock, lollipop and lorry, all these things are for L and L. So whenever we say lotus, immediately the child's brain will work onto L. You know, whenever we say lion, it associates. This is what is called memory association. So डिक्टेशन में नहीं लिखते हैं, यल बोलते ही नहीं लिखते हैं. तो why it doesn't happen is the child has not associated यल with any of these pictures. अगर आपने एसोसिएशन दिया, इतने सारे मेमोरी के लिए उसको आसान करने के लिए दिया, तो यल इजीली आ जाएगा. लॉलीपॉप याद दिलाते ही यल शुरू हो जाता है. अगर लायन बोलते यल उसके दिमाग में आ जानी चाहिए. इस तरह से सीखना अच्छा होगा. बिकॉज further when they go to grade 2 or grade 3, when the teacher says a word, immediately the child is expected to write the first letter. So this will help them even at that time. So please start working like this at a very early stage. This is again an example of T. Likewise, just as the L, I just wanted to show you one more example as a T. As many pictures as you can with the T. कुछ भी लगा सकते हैं. तो इसमें जो भी बच्चे को बहुत पसंद है ना, उसे बहुत ज्यादा देखते हैं. अगर teeth अच्छा लगता है, तो when we show them teeth, they'll start doing this teeth. It's okay. Any one picture might attract them, but that will associate with the letter, with the alphabet T. So this is going to help the child to remember, to keep it in memory. So when we are saying writing, they have to recollect the letter and then bring it down to the alphabet, to the book. How do they recollect? To recollect, they need this memory structure. So to create the structure, we need to create this kind of materials. Then this is to increase the vocabulary. When I'm talking about alphabet, writing and everything, is my left brain going to sleep? No, my left brain has to be active. So simultaneously, I have to work on vocabulary. I have to give a lot of pictures and words. And then the child should know so many words. But try to do categorization. When I'm doing B words, I will bring out all B words ka vocabulary. When I'm doing F, I will bring out all F words ka vocabulary. Imagine how easy the child will try to relate what the child is writing and what the child is practicing, what the child is learning through the left brain. So all these things helps the child to improvise in their writing skills. Introduction of the sight words should not be ignored. Right at the very beginning stage, even when the child is just 3 years old, the child has not yet gone to school, even before the child has learned the alphabet, the sight words should be introduced. Because once you introduce the alphabet सीखने से क्या होता है, अगर मैंने ये वर्ड सीखने की ट्राई किया, एंड सिखाना है, तो बच्चे क्या पढ़ लेते हैं, ए, एन, डी, लेकिन एंड नहीं बोलते हैं. बार बार यही बोलते हैं ए एंड डी, लेकिन एंड नहीं बोलते हैं. इसलिए आपको क्या करना है, अल्फाबेट सिखाते सिखाते ही आपको साइट वर्ड्स भी सिखाना शुरू कर देना चाहिए. तो साइट वर्ड्स को कहते हैं होल वर्ड रीडिंग. पूरा ऐसे देखते ही एक वर्ड को पहचान के सीखना है. जैसे कि हमने पिक्चर देखा है, अभी इसे देखते ही फिश कहते हैं, तो नीचे वाला लिखा हुआ सभी देखते ही फिश ही पढ़ेंगे. उसे पिक्चर की जैसे पढ़ना है, इसे स्पेलिंग्स के हिसाब से नहीं पढ़ना है. जब वो लिखने का सीखे गए तभी वो स्पेलिंग सीखेंगे, अभी तो नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. So that is how the sight words will also help. So we are stimulating the left brain along with the right brain to do their writing better. And this is phrasal. ये चीज तो एक तो पिक्चर तो पता है, अभी साइट वर्ड में सिखाया, तो अभी साथ में बोलना है, दोनों मिला के बोलना है। अ बॉल, काउ, अ डॉग, दोनों मिला के बोलना है। इससे क्या होता है, वोकैबुलरी इंक्रीज हो रहा है। अगर टीचर ने कह दिया कि अ बॉल लिखो, तो 2 वर्ड्स हो गया ना, दोनों को भी दिमाग में रखना पड़ेगा, दोनों को भी अगेन रिकलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा, 2 वर्ड्स लिखना पड़ेगा। सो टू इम्प्रोवाइज दैट वी नीड टू ब्रिंग फ्रेजल। सो जिसे कहते हैं phrases, two words together is called phrase. So when the phrase comes, the child will be able to keep one in mind and write one. So a लिख के ball लिखना है. So this is how it comes. So training has to happen. All these things has to be trained so that the brain is ready for me to write. This is also phrasal. We would have taught the sense organs, but we wouldn't have taught the phrasal. We would have taught the sight words, we would have taught the sense organs. अभी इन दोनों को जोड़ना पड़ेगा, इन दोनों को जोड़ के phrasal बनाओ. My eye, my nose. It can even be my eye see. Even 3 words also can come. But then initially 2 words are very important. So make phrasals like this. Then comes a sentence. See, simple sentence of 3 sight words and 1 picture word. So this is a duck. If the child is able to track and read this, the child will be able to write also by tracking. So simultaneously reading has to happen. I am doing my writing practice, ma'am. Reading मैं बाद में करूंगी या पहले रीडिंग कर लूंगी, बाद में राइटिंग करेंगे, ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, दोनों साथ साथ चलनी चाहिए. That is how the readiness for the schooling also happens. So the topic is all about writing skills, but school readiness. So when the school readiness we have to talk, it is very important that all these things have to be kept in our mind for so that the child is ready to go to school along with your writing skills. So this is my end point where we say holistic approach can achieve better than a linear development. That's what I was telling. Linear development ऐसा होता है कि आज मैं यल सिखाऊंगी, कल मैं टी सिखाऊंगी, उसके बाद साइट वर्ड सिखाऊंगी, उसे कहते हैं linear. लेकिन होलिस्टिक जैसा होता है कि आज मैं ये सब थोड़ी 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 सिखाऊंगी, 5 मिनट के लिए, 5 मिनट के लिए, 5 मिनट के लिए. If you divide your session and then do everything together along with your standing, walking, playing, everything should happen. That is called holistic approach. So I think I'm ending it. Now we will have our discussions. Thank you.
थैंक यू हेमा मैम, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, बहुत अच्छे से आपने एक्सप्लेन किया है. एंड फ्रेंड्स, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस प्लीज रेज योर हैंड एंड आस्क योर क्वेश्चन, और यू कैन टाइप इट इन चैट बॉक्स. हेमा मैम, शायद एक क्वेश्चन है.
Yeah, in the chat box.
जी, अरविंद का एक है.
Yeah. What can be done when the baby is not focusing on properly? That is one child. Okay. Yeah. So what can be done when the baby is not focusing on properly? That is the question there. Focusing on what? So again, my initial slides where I was telling, is the child able to play? Is the child able to stack? Is the child able to pour? All these things, please work onto it. If you work onto that, the focus will naturally come. So if you would have missed out my earlier slides where the child's development is prerequisite of the writing skills, please work onto it again and then give a little bit of writing. The child will again catch up with that. Then kid is 5 years having dominant left hand, okay, but rejects left hand to color or scribble, okay, but can cooperate a while with his right hand. Rest all he does major left hand. How to deal with which hand to write? Fine motor, please help. Okay. If the child is feeling comfortable right to hold the pencil or write with the right hand, allow the child to write. Don't have to worry. Some children are, they can use both the hands. They will do rest of the things with the left hand, but writing they will do with the right hand. But see whether the formations are correct. If the formation board, yeah. Is the whiteboard visible? दिख रहा है?
Yes ma'am, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if the child has to write C and the child is writing like this with the right hand, then just leave it like that. Let the child write with the right hand. If the child, whenever the child is writing with the right hand, but the child is left-hander and the C goes like this, then you have to correct. So if the mirror image is happening, then please be aware that you have to correct, and you have to give the pencil only in the left hand so that the mirror image can be avoided. If the mirror image is not happening and the formations are correct, please ignore it. The child might be finding it easy. Yeah. Please stop it. 1 second. I'm not able to come out of it. Yeah. Yeah. That question is okay. I think that answer is better. My child is not interested in writing. Yeah. The child's age is definitely to be noted. Why the child is not interested to be noted? Please tell the age of the child. Ruby
22
has written
months.
that.
Okay, Ruby.
Ruby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another question is from Neha.
Yeah. 22 months old. He is throwing everything and watching toys after throwing. What can I do to make him? 22 years, 22 months is almost like 2 years. If the child is throwing something, you have to be actually be happy, but make it more productive. It is now make it more constructive playing. So you keep a bucket over there, ask him to throw into the bucket and then clap for him, or you throw along with him into the bucket and then clap for each other. So this will help him to become more focused. So 2 years child throwing is very, very good. Again, but make it into different postures. Let the child sit and throw. Let the child stand and throw. Let the child maintain distance between the bucket and himself while throwing. So all these things will help the child a lot. Please allow him to throw. It's okay. But if he's throwing everything, you can say that we'll throw the ball. So we'll throw the ball into the bucket, then the child will stop throwing other things, and probably throw only the ball. So you have to play with the child. You have to always do the modeling. When you do the modeling, the child will feel happy and the child will correct himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Pratibha, please ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my child is 1.6 year old. और I have flashcards मैंने buy किया है. But I want to ask कि how to introduce that flashcard to him. Means our native language is Marathi. And उसको स्कूल में इंग्लिश मीडियम में डालना है. सो शुड आई स्टार्ट विथ मराठी लैंग्वेज और इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज? और दूसरा ये था कि वो फ्लैश कार्ड्स कैसे दिखाने, बिकॉज देयर इज वन टेक्निक, वो एकदम फास्ट फ्लैश
Yes.
करते हैं विद इन अ
Okay.
सेकेंड.
Yeah.
वो करना है या एक ही कार्ड उसको पूरा दिखाना है?
No.
Yeah.
If you're showing sight words, then you have to flash it in a fast method. Sight words. अगर आपको pictures word ही दिख रहा है, अभी if he is only 1.5, I'm sure you'll start only with the pictures. So picture words you can show one by one. You can just show and tell the word. That's all. So if you're showing the picture of the apple, you say apple. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
And the language, ma'am?
Stick on to English. If you already planned the child is going to English medium school, stick on to English, because all these words they need to again hear back. But you can talk in Marathi at home. The talking is not a problem. When they are seeing
Okay.
the things and then you expect them to tell, then it can be English.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. So मेरी बेटी 10. One more is Avin. Yeah, 10 years old.
Should I read it for you?
करना नहीं चल. ओके, जो उसकी
मैं पढ़
आता
देती
है
हूँ.
इतना नहीं
मैम, मेरी
चाहिए.
बेटी 10 इयर्स की है, वो रीड करना नहीं चाहती है, एंड जो उसको आता है वो लिखना नहीं चाहती है जब तक उसे उसके सामने नहीं बैठे. So she doesn't do it, she doesn't write it unless we sit in front of her, she's
Yeah.
saying.
Okay, so does she eat by herself? That's the first thing.
अवनी
उसने
गोयल, आप है यहाँ पे? आप प्लीज कैमरा ऑन. हाँ, she's
अम्मी
there.
आपका माइक अनम्यूट कर लीजिए.
अनम्यूट करिए.
Yes,
हाँ.
ma'am.
सो क्या वो खाने के टाइम में खुद खा लेती है या कोई साथ में बैठना पड़ेगा?
नहीं मैम, वो खा लेती है, अगर उसकी फेवरेट चीज कुछ रही तो खा लेती है.
और अगर फेवरेट ना हो तो साथ में बैठना पड़ेगा?
नहीं तो फिर टीवी ऑन कर देती है तो खा लेती है.
हाँ, अभी तो टीवी तो पूरा बंद करना ही पड़ेगा आपको. टीवी तो पहले बंद कर दो. वो खुद खाने की उसे प्रैक्टिस दो. अगर कोई ना हो तो भी खाना पड़ेगा. कोई हो तो या ना हो तो खाना पड़ेगा. When she becomes independent while eating, she will become independent in writing. अगर लिखना आता है तो खुद लिखेगी, लेकिन उसे ना आदत पड़ गया कि कोई रहे या टीवी चालू हो. तो अब ये नहीं लिखेगी, अगर अपनी टीवी चालू कर दिया शायद लिखेगी। ट्राई किया कभी?
नो मैम।
प्लीज डोंट ट्राई, दैट्स अ रॉन्ग थिंग, ओके? डोंट ट्राई, डोंट पुट ऑन द टीवी, टीवी तो मत चालू करो, लेकिन अगर खुद बैठ के खाएगी या बैठ के खुद उसका काम अपना आप करेगी तो खुद लिखेगी भी। सो लेकिन 10 इयर्स ही है ना, थोड़ा सा शायद सपोर्ट भी चाहिए, साथ में बैठ जाओ, कोई बात नहीं, शी इज ओनली 10 इयर्स, नो प्लीज सिट विद हर, इट्स ओके।
स्कूल में प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, स्कूल में कुछ करके नहीं आती है, स्कूल देखती है तो।
स्कूल में कुछ भी नहीं लिखती है,
नो
घर
मैम।
पे घर पे लिख लेती है साथ में बैठने से।
हाँ, सामने बैठने से लिख लेती है।
तो शायद स्कूल में उसको स्पीड अलग होती है ना, तो ज्यादा शायद लिखने के लिए टीचर्स कहते हैं, या ज्यादा कुछ लिख के डाल देते हैं।
कहता है कि विजन लिस्ट की थोड़ी वीक है।
हाँ वही तो, शायद शी इज फाइंडिंग इट डिफिकल्ट इन द स्कूल, लेकिन अगर घर पे आप ट्रेन करते जाओ, स्कूल में जितना हो सके उतना ही लिखने दो, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट। अपने बच्चे थोड़े लैग होते हैं, थोड़ा तो गैप रहता है, जब स्कूल में नहीं कर सकते हैं घर पे कर सकते हैं, तो प्लीज बी हैप्पी अबाउट इट।
बट वो एग्जाम के टाइम वो दिक्कत हो जाती है कि उसके फिर एग्जाम कैसे दिलवाओ। मैम लोग
सपोर्ट
कहते हैं
चाहिए,
कि
एग्जाम के टाइम में आपको स्कूल में बोलना पड़ेगा कि उसे सपोर्ट देना है, थोड़ा सी सपोर्ट चाहिए, स्कूल में रिक्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा।
ओके कि मैम रीड नहीं करना चाहती, मैम जानते हुए भी रीड नहीं करना चाहती, उसके लिए क्या करूं?
रीडिंग नहीं कर रही है?
बहुत मतलब वो सिंगल सिंगल वर्ड्स को रीड करती है, एक एक वर्ड को बोल बोल के।
कभी फ्रेजल ट्राई किया, एक पिक्चर रख के एक वर्ड रख के ट्राई किया कभी?
नो मैम।
नहीं, so you have to try the phrasal. That's why my slides told you have to read the phrasal, then slowly come to sentence. आपने देखा अभी प्रेजेंटेशन में फ्रेजल क्या होती है, देखा? So एक पिक्चर होती है, एक वर्ड होती है, तो साथ में पढ़ना पड़ेगा, तो अ कप अ केक ऐसा बोलना पड़ेगा। So what happens, the child will start reading two words together.
अब नहीं, अब हम अगला सवाल ले रहे हैं, दूसरे पेरेंट्स की है।
Okay.
गौरी का सवाल है मैम, व्हाट इफ द किड वाज इनिशियली राइटिंग प्रॉपर्ली विद लेफ्ट हैंड बट इज नाउ मिरर इमेजिंग?
Okay. If the child is it was initially writing with the left hand,
Yes.
but now it's doing mirror imaging, it must be the problem with the formation of the letters. The formation is not taught properly. Suppose again, I'll go back to my whiteboard.
Arvind ji.
Yeah. So if the child was already a left-hander and the child was writing nicely like this, now the child started writing like this. Imagine the child started writing like this. So usually what happens for a left-hander, 1 minute. The left-hander, if I'm using my, now I'm writing with my left hand, okay? Oh, who is writing on my whiteboard? Who is writing on my whiteboard? Okay, now see, if I'm a left-hander, I'll put a line and my hand moves from right hand to left hand for a sleeping line. If the teacher has corrected or you have corrected them to do this way again and again, the child would have gone wrong. So allow the child to put a standing line and sleeping line from right to left. Then probably the corrections can become better. And in the reversal of the C, if the C is like this, and the left-hander writes the C, doesn't write like this, the left-hander goes from down to up. Please allow the child to write like this. The left-hander writes differently. Please understand that the left-hander doesn't write like us. So their C will go from here to there. So allow them to do that. Then probably the corrections can happen. Yeah.
Thank you a lot, ma'am.
Please,
Actually,
please.
I was also correcting her.
Mute.
She writes C also from down to up.
Please mute yourself.
Okay.
Parents, please mute yourself.
I think Gauri is talking.
Yeah.
Gauri, are you talking?
Yes, but somebody else is also talking.
Yeah, okay. Now you tell me, Gauri.
Yeah. So she is writing C also from down to up and then making a curve. Is that means? And I was correcting her.
No,
So I
please
should
don't
not
correct.
correct
That's
her.
what happens. If she is
Okay,
writing from down to up for a E and then putting a sleeping line, that is the way the left-handers will write.
Okay.
Please
Okay,
don't
fine.
correct.
Thank you so much. ma'am.
Yeah, don't correct them. They write it that way.
Okay.
Okay. 5 years she is enjoying destructive throwing play. Only no matter how much engaged he is repeatedly only ma'am. Okay. This is Arvind is writing 5 years old. likes to only throw and play. So he would have probably somebody would have encouraged the child to throw and play all the time. Or even after the 2 years or 3 years, we should slowly bring it to constructive play. If you wouldn't have stopped it there, even now, but you can make it constructive play. No, play basketball at home. He will change himself. Just play basketball, and every time the ball goes into the basket, he'll get a point. Now at 5 years, they understand what is a point or what is a star. So every time the ball goes into the basket, you get a point, you get a star. And every time the ball doesn't go to the basket, you don't get a star, the child will stop throwing. So encourage that. Do it as a constructive way of playing. The child will stop throwing.
व्हाट एन आइडिया मैम। हमारे साथ एक बास्केटबॉल प्लेयर भी हैं, एक स्टार हैं आज हमारे साथ, उनसे भी बात करेंगे। 5 years child not interested writing and not properly use hand in eating.
First start with eating. He will write. You have to first let the child eat first. Slowly, you can always bring all those activities has to be completed before he comes to writing. You have to see that the child will eat independently. That's more important. Please give that habit and work on the child's squeezing and everything. Then the child will slowly come to writing also. It's okay if it is delayed by 6 months or 1 year. Don't worry much.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Dikshita is asking, my son is of 22 years, but still not put pressure on pencil while writing. Already I am using gripper on pencil, but that is for no use.
See, if your son is 22 years old and the pressure is too less, please don't worry. Give computer, let the child type. It's
Yes.
absolutely fine. Let the child type and show what the child wants to write. Why do you again put him pressure to write? I don't write at all. I only use computer all the time to type. We all do the same thing. We all send messages in the phone. Where are we writing? 22 years old need not write. Let him type. It's okay. It's
Yes.
absolutely okay.
Yes, ma'am. आशीष के फादर का सवाल है मैम। My son आशीष accepts all my suggestions, but when it comes to writing, he refuses to accept the suggestions. What could be the solution? सर ये इससे क्यों आप कर रहे हैं? ये किसी का सजेशन नहीं लेगा, ये सुपरस्टार है।
That's what Ashish is a superstar. And if he doesn't want to write, see, at the age of 20 plus, if the child doesn't want to write, you don't have to force the child to make him write, but help him out to type. That's more important in the life. Now let him use the keyboard, let him use the phone to type the verse. That's more than enough. Please don't expect them to write again, but only their name they should learn to write. That is enough. If they can sign with their names anywhere, they have to write. Then that is more important. So a date and a name, that is enough. You don't have to make him write more. Please don't do it. Amit is 5 years
मुझे नहीं लगता
through with letters and numbers and their formations, but he does not want to write. Okay. Amit doesn't want to write. 5 years old. He knows all the numbers. He knows the formations also, but does not want to write. So please check on the vitamin D. See whether any issue in the hands, whether any other pain. See when he's playing or when he's squeezing, is he expressing any pain in the hand? Please see whether anything else is hindering the child. Sometimes it might be the health issue, which we should not ignore at all. Please look into that.
थैंक यू वेरी मच हेमा मैम, सारी क्वेरीज को पूरा करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका। और एक आखिरी सवाल हम ले सकते हैं अगर कोई पूछना चाहे तो। और मैं बता दूं, मुझे लगता है सारे ही हमारे दोस्तों को पता होगा, जो मूवी आई है सितारे जमी पर, उसके हीरो जो हैं आशीष पेंट से, वो हमारे साथ हैं। आशीष कैसे हैं आप भाई? आपकी मूवी हमने देखी, कमाल कर दिया आपने, दिल।
थैंक यू। मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा। मेरे को कविता आती है, कहानी आती है, बड़े बड़े संवाद आते हैं। मैंने इसमें बोला भी है।
अच्छा, तो कोई सितारे जमी पर का कोई संवाद आप सुना दीजिए हमें प्लीज।
हाँ, डाउन सिंड्रोम है, मेरा फेस भी बाकियों से अलग है। बार बार शक होता है कि मुझे बहुत सारी बीमारियां हैं। पहले मेरे घर में केबल कट गया, अभी क्या प्रॉब्लम है? अभी ये जूते फिट नहीं हो रहे सर, ये पंखा
आशीष
ये जो पंखा है, अगर मेरे सिर पे गिर गया तो मेरा क्या होगा? मेरा सिर फूट जाएगा सर, इसलिए मैं हेलमेट नहीं उतारूंगा। ये हाँ ये
वाह
चलो मैं
वाह
कर देता हूँ।
और सबका अपना अपना नॉर्मल होता है।
बाबू मैडम सबको गुड इवनिंग। रश्मि पिक्चर
वो
देख के बोलती है
नहीं
अरे अरे मेरा सब
जी जी जी।
आशीष, सुपर्ब आशीष, we just
Thank you.
loved you acting. खूब किया. Okay,
Yes, yes,
amazing, very nice.
thank you,
Thank you Ashish, from
And,
all of us. Okay, from all of
yes,
us, thank you.
हाँ
Yes.
गुड्डू गुड्डू मुझे बचाओ, मैं मर रहा हूँ, पानी में डूब के मर जाऊंगा मैं। तो वो गुड्डू आता मुझे बचाता है वो पानी में। हाँ अरे
That's lovely, lovely, beautiful delivery.
हाँ अरे थैंक यू
Okay. Parul, there's some other question in the chat box. Parul. Ashish, my question ले लूं?
yes
Okay, thank you, Ashish. So my daughter is 14 plus. She writes but can't read with sounds. Please assist. Okay, so learning with sounds is we have to teach every sound of the letter. That's why we say we teach capital letter and the small letters together. Capital letters goes with the name of the letter and the small letter goes with the sound of the letter. And that is how we show all the pictures of the corresponding letter alphabet so that the sounds get ingrained automatically. 14 years में आगे अब तक उसे sounds नहीं आया तो फिर से आप शुरू करना पड़ेगा कि एक एक अल्फाबेट का साउंड कैसे सिखाएं. उसके लिए ज्यादा तक वोकैबुलरी लेना है. एल से जो भी स्टार्ट होता है एल से लो, टी से जो भी स्टार्ट होता है टी से लो. इज शी एबल टू गेट द कॉन्सोनेंट? या अगर वोवल्स नहीं आया तो वोवल्स सिखाओ, अगर वोवल्स जोड़ना नहीं आया तो ब्लेंडिंग सिखाओ. इट इज अगेन different chapter. I think Parul, we need another chapter where we have to teach how to blend and read.
बिल्कुल मैम, बिल्कुल हम जल्दी करेंगे. लास्ट क्वेश्चन आज का ले लेते हैं. श्रीवेणी का क्वेश्चन है, अमित 5 years is through with letters and numbers and their formation, but he does not want to write.
Yeah, I answered Amit.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am answered.
Yeah, I
Okay.
answered. Yes.
Yes. तो आज का ये सेशन था हमारा दोस्तों. मुझे मालूम है हमेशा की तरह हेमा मैम का सेशन किससे अच्छा नहीं लगता होगा. हेमा मैम जाते जाते कोई एक सजेशन या कोई एक एडवाइस आप पेरेंट्स को देना चाहती हैं राइटिंग के लिए?
Yeah. See, my suggestion will be always don't hurry the child to write. पहले आपको लगना चाहिए कि हमने तैयारी कर ली. बच्चे को तैयारी करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है लिखने के लिए. सो द रेडीनेस हैज टू हैपन फॉर द चाइल्ड टू राइट. डोंट गिव पेंसिल एंड अ crayon until you know that the child is able to use the pointer to make a stroke. Then give scribbling, then slowly bring focused writing. So don't hurry the child to give the pencil right at the age of 3. Please wait. Our children will not be usually ready at the age of 3. They will take more time to hold the pencil and do, but you can always start with the finger. So finger painting is a must. Finger painting is very good and please start that way. And give whole body exercise. Don't make the child sit for a longer time at the desk. खूब खेलने दो, खूब जंप करने दो. सब कुछ करने से ही राइटिंग भी होएगा. So please don't think the child has to sit at the desk and write for 20 minutes. नहीं होता है. 20 minutes कोई बच्चा नहीं लिखता है. They will only write for 5 minutes or 10 minutes initially. Once they know to write, they will probably extend it to 15 to 20 minutes. So please don't force.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू वेरी मच हेमा मालिनी.
Thank you so much.
तो दोस्तों ये था आज का सेशन हमारा राइटिंग के ऊपर, और आज का सेशन हम अब यहीं समाप्त करते हैं. अगले हफ्ते फिर आपसे मिलेंगे किसी एक नए टॉपिक के साथ में. हेमा मैम को जैसा उन्होंने कहा एक बार फिर से हम जल्दी ही लेकर आएंगे जो मर्ज के लिए उन्होंने बताया है उस वाले सेशन को लेके. प्रियंका जी, ओवर टू यू.
Thank you.
Thank you
everyone.
थैंक यू मैम.
Thank you,
Congratulations, Ashish. Ashish, congratulations.
Ashish, congratulations.
Congratulations.
रश्मि पिक्चर देख के बोला जो मेरा सब फ्रेंड है. अरे मेरा फ्रेंड है. बहुत खुश हो गई रश्मि देख के. और रश्मि को भी सब हाथ मिला है पिक्चर हॉल में.
Yes.
चलिए, so we end today's session. I'm ending the session now. See you all next Saturday again. Till then, bye. Bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.